In the name of Allah, the Omnipotent Merciful, we thank you for your presence. We thank the Chief Sheriff for giving us the meeting, very productive meeting. And we thank those organizational leaders that are here who made the sacrifice and the time to attend this meeting for such a serious matter. One thing we learned in that meeting that is most important, any of the ideas that we put forth, the sheriff does not really have the ability with the current staffing situation that he has to really fulfill those desires and those wishes. He admitted that what we're asking for is the right thing to do, and he would love to do them. But under the current situation with his staffing crisis and his budget situation, the resources are not there to give the inmates in this jail the true human and constitutional protections that they still deserve in this jail. Everybody in the jail is not guilty, but even for those who are guilty, they still have a right to basic human health services. They have a right to constitutional protections. And it is unfortunate we are learning more and more now that you have deputies that are working double shifts, overworked, and severely underpaid. Some of these deputies are not even taking vacations, and they're not even days off, working in one of the most stressful environments in America, in one of the most dangerous situations in America. You had a female sergeant here, a sergeant that was raped and assaulted here at the jail because she didn't have the adequate staffing and backup to give her the assistance that she needs. Let's stop playing games in Harris County and give the resources to this jail that is needed, desperately needed, that he can hire the qualified people he needs to hire, and that we can have the additional extra staffing that is needed to provide a quality of service to all of these inmates. We honestly believe that a lot of this abuse would cease to a great level. I don't think it would all end because there's bad apples everywhere. But at the level that it is right now, it would not be if the man had the staffing that he needs and the budget to hire those employees that he's not being given by Commissioner's Court. It is a shame and a disgrace what is happening with the medical situation in this jail, because he does not even have the staff to escort people from medical to the cells to give out medical meds to the inmates, because they don't have enough staff to escort the people even from medical. And that's why some of these offenders are staying in these jail cells, not even getting their meds, because they don't have enough staff to escort the nurses to these jail cells. They're trying to bring everybody to medical. It's a shame. More can be done in a civilized nation, and we in a civilized county must do more to make sure that the men and women that work here are working in a safer environment, but also the men and women that are being housed here, awaiting their day in court, receive their constitutional rights and their human protections. Thank you.
Are there any questions? I think we're done.
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come this way, come in front. Yeah.
Give me one.
A little bit more this way. Okay, give me one. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Hold on.
Go.
Okay.
I just wanted to add this. I'm just going to add this before he
Yeah, go
speaks
ahead.
real quick.
Okay, hold on.
Is that in the actual meeting, we have decided that we are going to join forces with LULAC so we can ensure that Sheriff Ed Gonzalez get the funding that's needed in order to run this jail effectively. Because like Brother Quanell X said, that is the actual issue, and that's why we have came together, and we're going to join together in order for this to happen, so the 8th Amendment is not violated in these jails.
What about the medication that they needed? You know, what's going to happen with that? Because it's a couple inmates, they need the medicine, and they provide another medicine, that they don't, So, what he say about that? Because
Well, see, that actually falls under Harris Health. That doesn't fall under Harris County, because Harris Health is contracted with Harris County. So that medical piece that deals with that falls under them. So that question needs to go to them, not Harris County. We found all that out in the meeting today.
So what's next, Dr. Candace Matthews? What's next in all of this?
What's next is that Commissioner's Court better get ready, because we are coming together.
We're
Me
coming.
and my brother, we coming, because Sheriff Ed Gonzalez needs that funding.
He sure
so
does.
we need to ensure, and this time it's not going to be just all the black people. It's the black and brown people. So you better get ready. We coming.
Yes, ma'am. Lo que quiero decir es, soy doctor Sergio Lira de parte de LULAC, representando nuestro área de LULAC y la comunidad hispana. Estamos juntos, trabajando juntos para hablar sobre este problema de índices de crimen que tenemos en el condado, en nuestras cárceles. Ha habido bajo personal, está sobrepoblado. Nuestro alguacil González necesita nuestro apoyo, necesita recursos, necesita personas que vengan a trabajar aquí. Estamos aquí para apoyarlo. Uno no puede hacer un trabajo, el labor es muy grande y pocos que hacen el labor. Y es la situación aquí. Por eso la medicina que usted mencionó no ha llegado a tiempo porque no hay suficiente personal. Necesitamos más personal aquí en las cárceles. Estamos aquí trabajando juntos para apoyar nuestro sherife González y tuvimos una reunión muy constructiva y muy productiva y vamos a apoyarlo nosotros como líderes de la comunidad. Muchas gracias.
Just 1 second. Taking my spot.
No, if you want me to help you, right?
¿Algunas preguntas?
See if you have any questions.
¿Tienen algunas preguntas?
¿Cómo van a trabajar o qué es el mensaje para Lina?
El mensaje a nuestra juez Lina Hidalgo que nosotros vamos a trabajar, vamos a ir a la corte del condado para abogar para más recursos, más fondos para nuestro alguacil, el sheriff González. Es una cosa que nosotros estamos muy preocupados en la comunidad porque la mayoría de los encarcelados son de personas de color, que son personas de bajos recursos y son los más necesitados. Entonces vamos a ir a abogar aquí en la corte pronto.
¿Han tenido familiares que han venido pidiendo la ayuda de ustedes?
Sí, sí.
Háblenme un poquito, ¿qué les han dicho?
Sí, que en las cárceles hay muchas peleas en las cárceles, que no hay tanta supervisión y eso es lo que hablamos con el alguacil González y él dijo que es falta de personal. Es como si uno tiene una cosecha grande, pero solamente hay 2 o 3 que trabajan en la cosecha, no es suficiente. Y no debemos de echar la culpa a él.
Also, I want to make this point, and this is a valid point that I did not make earlier that I wanted to make now that was important. We also learned that the policy is, if you're charged with capital murder, when you go to court, you have to be escorted by 4 deputies. So if they don't have 4 deputies to escort you, then they have to put the entire courthouse on hold until they can find the appropriate staffing to take you to the courthouse, taking deputies from one area where they're already short-staffed. So now you got all those people sitting in the courthouse waiting for long extended periods of time because the system is being clogged up by the Harris County Jail being understaffed according to the county's policy of escorting certain high-profile inmates into the courthouse. So those can be in court for just drunk driving or can be in court for a simple possession charge. But they must wait now in the courthouse until somebody over here can get the adequate staffing to escort one inmate to the courthouse. The shortage in the Harris County Jail is clogging up the entire criminal justice system in Harris County. Another point, since bail reform, a lot of the misdemeanors and small petty crime cases are no longer in the jail. They're being released. So now it's only the most serious and the most violent offenders that are staying in jail. So now you're understaffed, but you've had an explosion in population of serious violent offenders that are in the jail. This is a recipe for disaster. And so we have to make sure that the citizens of Harris County are safe, but that this jail no longer is a house of death. Because of the disgraceful neglect of citizens in Texas, Harris County Jail is the largest mental health facility in the state of Texas. That's a disgrace.
Okay. I want to ask you something. Yesterday,
Oh, Lord, did anybody see that?
we had a viewer he contacts and tell them his family member, his inmate, need his medicine. Okay, he got a high blood pressure, but inside the jail, they don't let it get that medicine. And his fiance have the medicine, you wanna give it to him, and they don't let it. Why
So
that
let
happen?
me explain something to you. Okay, there have been cases across the country where certain inmates have said, I'm diabetic, or I need my psychotropic medication, I need my heart medication. And loved ones would come and smuggle drugs to them with that medication. So fentanyl was actually going into the jail under the guise of high blood pressure medication. So the problem is, if somebody goes to jail and say, I need my meds, let somebody from the streets, quote unquote, in my family, bring it to me, well then how are they to be sure what they're allowing into the jail if it's not coming from a doctor that's prescribing it, sending it directly to the jail facility? We would all love that idea to work perfectly. Let the man or her get their meds brought by the family. But there have been cases where fentanyl has been stuck into the jail and there have been overdoses under the guise of an inmate getting their high blood pressure medication or heart medication. It's damned if you do and damned if you don't. But that's why if you had the adequate staffing in place, there'd be a proper way to test that medication before you release it into the general population. But they can't do that. And that's why what we have in this jail, man, is a disgrace, because you're asking one deputy to do the job of 5 or 7 deputies at one time. It's a recipe for disaster.
Look, this is the guy who need the medicine, okay? And they give it another medicine, and he start getting some issues.
I'm not shocked.
Send it to me and we'll send it to them.
And that's happening right now?
We'll address it.
That's happening right now?
Está
We
pasando ahorita.
wrote the story yesterday, and we're gonna run it again.
That's a damn,
Quando,
it's
how
a
many,
damn
How
shame.
many officers are they like needing, like for what you guys understood in the
We
meeting?
learned today that they are understaffed by 500 officers. They are understaffed by 500 officers. Only God knows what's going to happen next in these jail facilities, being understaffed by 500 officers. Harris County has grown, the jail population has grown, but the staffing has went down. It's crazy. And so we wonder why situations like this, that man should go to the hospital. But we got 15 to 20 that need to go to the hospital. We got 2 deputies. How are they going to do it? And they're playing games with the budget, the commissioner's court. They could fix this problem. They got the money. They have it. Let's do the right thing. Keep the public safe. Let's keep the public safe. And let's keep hard criminals locked up. But they still have constitutional rights. And let's not ask a sheriff to do Mission Impossible and go to the Olympics and win a 100-yard dash, and we sit him there with one leg.
And on crutches.